Captain Elias Ward leaned against the metal railing of the space station observation deck, staring out at the endless stars. From this height, the universe seemed calm, peaceful, and quiet, yet humanity was anything but safe. Earth had finally begun exploring the stars, but the void was full of unknown dangers. Resources were scarce, political tensions high, and rival species waited patiently to test humanity's limits. Elias sighed. He had spent most of his life studying space, solving problems and leading missions that no one else dared. But even he could not have predicted what was about to unfold. In the research bay below, Dr. Lena Rao, the lead archaeologist, tapped her fingers nervously on the console. "Captain, the readings are unusual," she said, her voice trembling with excitement. She pointed at the holographic projection hovering in the air. The image showed a planet far beyond known star charts, its surface littered with strange ruins. "These structures are not natural. They are clearly made by intelligent beings. And the patterns, they're familiar." Elias frowned. "Familiar how?" Lena hesitated. "It's like something was guiding humanity from the very beginning. Our early technology, our breakthroughs, even the way we survived certain disasters. These ruins suggest someone helped us long before we could reach space." Elias felt a shiver run down his spine. The idea was impossible. Humans had always believed that survival and progress were the result of their own hard work. But the evidence in front of them hinted at a secret. Someone had watched over humanity, guiding them quietly, invisibly. "Have you translated the inscriptions?" Elias asked, leaning closer to the hologram. Lena shook her head. "Not fully. But the symbols indicate warnings, instructions, and a name or a title, something like the Seraphim." Elias straightened. "Seraphim?" The name rang with strange familiarity, though he couldn't place it. "Could it be an alien species?" Lena nodded. "If it is, they were far more advanced than us, maybe centuries ahead. And it seems they helped us. Not directly, but through subtle guidance. Every major leap in human history could have been influenced by them." Elias stared at the stars again. The idea of a hidden benefactor fascinated him and worried him. If such a species existed, why had they remained hidden? And more importantly, why now? The next morning, Elias and his team gathered in the command center. Holographic maps displayed the coordinates of the mysterious planet. It lay beyond known systems, past dangerous asteroid belts and unstable warp currents. Yet the temptation to explore was irresistible. "We have to find them," Elias said firmly. "If they truly helped humanity, they may know threats we cannot even imagine. And if the warnings are real, we can't afford to ignore them." Lena and the rest of the team nodded. Among them were engineers, xenologists, and pilots, all experts in their fields. Together, they formed humanity's best hope for discovering the Seraphim. As the crew prepared the expedition ship, Elias walked to the observation deck once more. The stars seemed to whisper secrets, ancient and powerful. He thought about Earth, fragile but resilient. He thought about humanity's history, full of mistakes, courage, and unyielding curiosity. Perhaps, he realized, the Seraphim had seen something in humans worth protecting. The journey to the distant planet was treacherous. Warp currents twisted unpredictably, and asteroid fields forced the crew to navigate with extreme precision. At times, alarms blared as the ship narrowly avoided collisions or energy surges. Yet through every obstacle, Elias remained calm, giving orders with steady confidence. The crew's trust in him never wavered. On the 7th day, the ship emerged from the chaos of the outer systems. Before them lay the planet, bathed in a soft golden light from a nearby sun. Its surface glittered with ruins, structures that defied known physics. Towers rose in impossible spirals connected by bridges that floated in midair. Strange energy patterns pulsed faintly as if the planet itself were alive. Lena gasped. "It's beautiful, and so advanced. How could anything survive here for so long?" Elias smiled faintly. "Because someone wanted it to survive. Someone who cared about this world and maybe about us." As the expedition team landed on the surface, they noticed the air was breathable, though slightly charged with energy. The ruins were enormous, with smooth, shining surfaces that reflected the sunlight like mirrors. Strange symbols covered the walls, glowing faintly as the humans approached. "Look at this," said Engineer Marco Chen, pointing to a massive archway. "These markings, they're like schematics, instructions for building things, or maybe understanding something." Lena traced her fingers over the symbols. It's as if they left a message for someone. Or maybe for us. Elias stepped forward, feeling a strange connection to the ruins. His hand hovered over one of the glowing inscriptions, and a soft vibration traveled up his arm. Images flashed in his mind, visions of human history, moments of triumph and survival, all seemingly guided by invisible hands. "This is incredible," Elias whispered. "They've been helping us all along." Suddenly, a low hum echoed through the ruins. The team froze. From the shadows emerged figures unlike anything they had seen. Humanoid, yet ethereal, with shimmering forms that seemed almost transparent, their eyes glowing softly. The humans instinctively stepped back. One figure raised a hand and a calm, melodic voice filled their minds. "Do not be afraid. We have watched. We have guided, and now it is time for you to know the truth." Elias stepped forward, feeling a mix of fear and awe. "You helped humanity?" The figure inclined its head. "Long ago we observed your species. We saw potential, courage, curiosity, and compassion. You survived challenges that would have destroyed others. We offered guidance in small ways to help you grow." Lena's voice trembled. "Why now? Why reveal yourselves?" The Seraphim's eyes glowed brighter. "Because the danger you cannot see approaches. An ancient enemy long dormant stirs in the darkness. Your world and ours may face destruction if we do not act. You have a choice. Continue as you are, unaware, or take the first step in a path that may change destiny itself." Elias looked at his team. Each face reflected determination, fear, and excitement. They had always dreamed of exploring the stars, of meeting beings far beyond human imagination. Now that dream was real, but the stakes were higher than ever. "We'll do it," Elias said firmly. "We'll face whatever comes. Humanity will not stand aside when others are in danger." The Seraphim studied him silently, then nodded. "Very well. You must prove yourselves worthy as your ancestors once were. The trials ahead will test your courage, your wisdom, and your heart. Only then can destiny be truly rewritten." As night fell over the alien ruins, the humans set up their camp, feeling a mixture of awe and anticipation. They had discovered allies, yes, but also a warning. The universe was far larger and more dangerous than they had imagined. Humanity's journey had only just begun. Elias gazed at the stars one last time before sleep. He thought about Earth, his crew, and the countless possibilities ahead. Somewhere out there an enemy waited, and somewhere ancient allies had finally revealed themselves. Humanity had been guided once. Now it was time to repay that guidance, not with gold or technology, but with courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. For the first time in his life, Elias felt the weight of destiny on his shoulders. The stars had secrets, the universe had rules, but humans had something no one else could claim: the power to change the course of history itself. And so, with the hum of the Seraphim's energy around them, and the glow of the alien ruins illuminating the night, humanity took its first steps toward a destiny no one had ever imagined. The alien sun dipped below the horizon, casting the ruins in a warm golden light. Captain Elias Ward and his crew had spent the day exploring, documenting, and cautiously learning from the glowing inscriptions that lined the alien structures. Though the ruins were silent and empty, the hum of energy beneath the surface was constant, as if the planet itself was alive and watching. "We need to understand them," Lena Rao said, crouched beside a triangular console embedded in the ground. "These devices, they are not just relics. They are active, waiting for someone to activate them. I think they are a kind of communication system." Elias nodded. "Then let's find out who they're waiting for. Maybe the Seraphim are still here, or maybe they're somewhere else observing." The crew worked tirelessly, using a combination of human technology and intuition to decipher the glowing symbols. Slowly, patterns began to emerge, lines of logic, star charts, warnings, and messages. And at the center of it all was a question: "Are you ready to meet your guardians?" Elias read the words aloud, the letters shining brighter as he spoke. "Ready? We are ready." The air shimmered, and suddenly, the faint outlines of the Seraphim appeared before them. They were taller than humans, with long, elegant limbs and skin that seemed to ripple with light. Their eyes glowed softly, full of intelligence, wisdom, and something else, caution. "Do not be afraid," one of them spoke, the voice clear in the minds of every human. It was melodic, calm, and carried a sense of authority. "You are the descendants of those we once guided, And now it is time to see if you are worthy of the trust we once placed in your species. Lena stepped forward, her voice trembling but determined. We are humans. We are curious, brave, and willing to learn. We have always tried to survive and grow. If you truly helped us, we want to understand why. The seraphim tilted their heads slightly. Long ago, we saw potential in your kind. We observed your evolution, your struggles, and your victories. We offered subtle guidance, not to control but to help. And now the time comes for a deeper connection. A great threat approaches. You must choose. Will you stand as allies or remain unprepared? Elias swallowed hard. We will stand. We will face whatever comes. Humanity has learned, and we are ready to fight for ourselves. And for you. For a moment, silence fell. The seraphim's glowing form seemed to shimmer faster, as if considering. Then one stepped forward, raising a hand. The ground beneath them opened like a gate, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside, the walls pulsed with energy, and a large floating orb hovered in the center. It projected images of distant star systems, fleets of ships, and strange shadowy forms moving like predators through space. This is the Veraxis, the seraphim said, a species of conquerors long dormant. Their fleets awaken, their power grows. Soon they will threaten both our worlds. You have the choice to help, but only if you prove your worth. Your courage, your ingenuity, and your unity will decide the outcome of what is to come. The humans exchanged nervous glances. Elias felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. This was no longer an exploration mission. It was a test, and failure could mean the destruction of humanity itself. How do we begin? Elias asked, his voice steady despite the fear. You must learn from us, but also teach yourselves, the seraphim replied. We will guide, but your choices will shape destiny. First, you must understand our technology and the strategies we use. Only then can you fight as equals. Over the next days, the seraphim taught the humans to interface with their advanced systems. The crew learned quickly, adapting human ingenuity to alien technology. Lena discovered patterns in energy flows that even the seraphim had not fully explored. Marco Chen, the engineer, improved some of their devices using clever modifications that the seraphim found amusing and impressive. It is strange, Lena admitted one evening. They are teaching us, yes, but they also watch how we think, how we solve problems. They want to see how humans operate under pressure. Elias nodded. Then we must show them what humanity is capable of. Not just technology, but creativity, courage, and moral strength. We can't just follow orders. We have to think for ourselves. One day, as the humans were exploring a canyon lined with glowing crystals, a warning appeared in the orb chamber. The Veraxis fleet was already moving through nearby systems faster than the humans had expected. Several planets had already been captured, their inhabitants enslaved or eliminated. They are coming sooner than we thought, one of the seraphim said, its voice calm but serious. You will face the first test sooner than planned. Prepare yourselves, for the challenges will not only test your strength but your character. Elias felt a surge of determination. We will not fail. Humanity has survived worse. We will learn, adapt, and fight. Not just for ourselves, but for everyone who cannot defend themselves. Training intensified. Humans simulated battles, repaired alien ships, and studied Veraxis tactics. Every day the seraphim watched, sometimes guiding, sometimes allowing mistakes to teach lessons. Slowly the crew began to understand the unique advantage humans had, the ability to improvise, to see solutions where logic failed, to act with courage even when the odds seemed impossible. Look at this, Marco said one afternoon, pointing to a holographic model. If we combine our ideas with the seraphim energy shields, we can create a defensive net no Veraxis fleet can bypass. It's untested, yes, but it could save thousands. The seraphim observed silently, then spoke. You see possibilities that even we overlooked. This is the strength of your kind, creativity, courage, and heart. If you wield it wisely, you can change the course of history. Meanwhile, Elias and Lena discovered a hidden chamber beneath the ruins. Inside, they found records of ancient interactions between humans and seraphim, long before humanity remembered them. The records told of wars averted, disasters prevented, and knowledge passed quietly to ensure humans could survive and grow. Humanity had always been helped, but never asked for anything in return. It seems they trusted us from the beginning, Lena said softly. They saw potential we didn't even know we had. Elias stared at the glowing inscriptions. Then it's our responsibility now. We must honor that trust not with words but with action. Their lessons with the Seraphim culminated in a final trial. The Seraphim created a simulated Viraxis attack, testing human decision-making under pressure. Ships moved at incredible speeds. Enemies appeared from every direction, and the humans had to respond in real time. Panic rose, decisions split second, yet Elias and his crew performed brilliantly, combining human intuition with Seraphim technology. When the simulation ended, the Seraphim spoke, their glowing forms brighter than ever. You have proven yourselves capable. You have courage, ingenuity, and moral strength. But know this, the real challenge is coming. The Viraxis fleet is vast and their cruelty unmatched. You must carry the lessons you have learned here into the galaxy itself. Elias bowed his head slightly. We understand. We will not fail. Humanity will stand with you not just in defense but in hope. The Seraphim nodded. Very well. You will depart soon, carrying our knowledge and guidance. The path ahead is dangerous but also full of opportunity. Remember, destiny is not fixed. It can be rewritten by those with courage, wisdom, and heart. Your choices will decide the future. That night, Elias stood outside the alien ruins, staring at the stars once again. The galaxy seemed larger, more alive, and more dangerous than ever. The humans had discovered allies, but also a warning. Enemies were already on the move, and time was short. Yet Elias felt hope. Humanity had been guided once, and now they had a chance to step into their own power. To repay a debt not with fear, but with courage, creativity, and unity. Tomorrow, he whispered to the stars, we begin our journey. Not as followers, but as partners. And we will prove that humanity can rise to meet any challenge, even the stars themselves. As the alien world pulsed softly under the twin moons, the humans prepared for the next step in their adventure. They had met their guardians. They had learned their lessons. And soon, they would face a test that would decide the fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds across the galaxy. For the first time, humanity understood that help could come in many forms, but repayment required more than gratitude. It required courage, wisdom, and the heart to act when destiny called, and in the silent hum of the Seraphim ruins, that call had already begun. The alien sun rose over the shimmering towers of the Seraphim ruins, casting long, golden reflections across the landscape. Captain Elias Ward and his crew were already awake, preparing for the day's training. Unlike any mission they had faced before, this was not about exploration or mapping planets. This was about proving humanity's worth. The Seraphim had devised a series of trials designed to test the crew, not only in skill, but in courage, ingenuity, and character. Each trial combined alien technology, complex puzzles, and simulated scenarios that pushed the limits of human capability. The crew was nervous but determined. They had seen what was coming. The Viraxis fleet was advancing, and every lesson learned now could save countless lives. Remember, Elias told them as they entered the first trial chamber, they are not just testing our skill with their technology. They want to see how we think, how we respond under pressure, how we act when the stakes are high. Stay sharp, stay calm, and work together. The chamber shimmered as the doors closed behind them. Before the crew appeared a holographic landscape of a Seraphim city under attack. Enemy forces swarmed from all directions. Ships moved at impossible speeds and energy beams streaked across the simulated sky. The humans immediately took command. Lena Rao coordinated communications between simulated defense grids. Marco Chen adapted alien energy shields, creating new patterns to protect the city. Elias issued commands, guiding the team through chaos with precision and clarity. This is not just a game, Lena whispered. We need to think like they think, predict like they predict. Suddenly, a wave of virtual enemy ships breached the outer defenses. Marcus, the youngest pilot, hesitated, unsure how to respond. But Elias calmly spoke through the comm system. Focus on patterns, not panic. Every movement has a purpose. Use your instincts and the training you've learned. Marcus nodded, took a deep breath, and maneuvered his craft with a skill that surprised even himself. The simulated city held. The Seraphim watched silently, their glowing forms hovering in the observation chamber. When the trial ended, the simulation dissolved, and the crew faced the Seraphim. You have shown skill and bravery, one said, its voice echoing in their minds. But skill alone is not enough. A true ally demonstrates creativity, compassion, and the ability to make hard choices under pressure. The next trial was even more demanding. The crew was presented with a damaged alien ship, its systems offline and its interior unstable. "Repair it," the Seraphim commanded, "using only what you can find in this environment. You have no instructions. You have no guides. Only your minds, your hands, and your teamwork." Elias studied the ship carefully. It was unlike anything humanity had built. Energy conduits ran in patterns that defied logic, pulsing with strange light. The crew began working immediately, combining their human intuition with knowledge gleaned from previous lessons. Lena traced energy flows, interpreting alien symbols as if they were a language. Marco improvised tools and adapted existing components to repair broken circuits. Elias coordinated, ensuring no one duplicated efforts or wasted time. Slowly, the ship began to hum with life, energy coursing through previously dead systems. "This is amazing," Lena said, her eyes wide. "We're actually making it work," the Seraphim observed quietly. "Indeed," one said. "You see possibilities that even we overlooked. This is the gift of your kind. You do not simply follow rules. You create, improvise, and adapt. That is why you survived when others would have failed." The crew took pride in their success, but there was little time to celebrate. Intelligence reports from the orb chamber showed the Viraxis fleet moving closer to the sector. Advanced sensors detected hundreds of ships, some larger than entire human cities. Their speed and coordination were unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Elias frowned. "This is worse than we imagined. But we cannot panic. We have learned, we have adapted, and now we have allies. We must use every advantage we have to prepare." The Seraphim then introduced the most difficult trial: diplomacy under pressure. They projected a holographic council of various interstellar species, each with conflicting interests. The humans were tasked with negotiating peace and alliances, while also preparing for the Viraxis threat. Lena took the lead, using careful logic and empathy to build trust. Marcus handled logistics, ensuring resources were allocated fairly among factions. Elias mediated disputes, finding solutions that no one else had considered. "This is harder than any battle," Elias admitted. "We are fighting with words, not weapons. But it is just as important. If we fail here, our enemies will have the advantage." Hours passed. Alliances were formed, strategies discussed, and tensions eased. The simulation ended, and the Seraphim spoke. "You have demonstrated more than skill or courage. You have shown leadership, understanding, and a willingness to make sacrifices for the greater good. These are the qualities that define true allies." The trials were exhausting, but the crew had learned more than they could have imagined. They understood the Seraphim technology, anticipated the Viraxis strategies, and saw the value of unity among diverse species. Humanity was growing, not just in strength, but in wisdom. One evening, as the humans rested near the glowing ruins, Lena approached Elias. "Do you realize what we've achieved?" she asked softly. "We are no longer just explorers. We are becoming part of a larger story, one that spans the galaxy. We are proving that humans are capable of more than we ever believed." Elias nodded, staring at the sky. "I know, and we have to keep proving it. The Viraxis are real, and they are coming. Every lesson we learn here is a chance to save lives, to protect worlds, and to show the galaxy that humanity is more than just a species. We are a force for courage, creativity, and hope." As they spoke, the Seraphim approached. "Humanity grows quickly," one said. "You have embraced every challenge and shown your strength. Yet remember this: courage alone is not enough. Wisdom, unity, and the heart to act when others hesitate are what will determine the outcome of what is coming. You have the ability to rewrite destiny, but only if you act together." The warning was clear. The trials had tested them, yes, but the real test, the one that mattered, was approaching faster than anyone expected. The Viraxis fleet would arrive soon, and the humans would have to apply everything they had learned, not in simulations, but in reality. Elias gathered his crew. "We have passed the trials here," he said, "but the true test begins when we leave this world. Our training has prepared us, but only our courage, creativity, and unity will save us. We are ready, not just to fight, but to prove that humanity is capable of standing alongside the greatest powers in the galaxy." The crew nodded. There was a quiet determination in their eyes. They had learned, adapted, and survived challenges that would have broken lesser species. They were ready for what was coming. The Seraphim watched them silently, their glowing forms radiant under the alien sun. "You have done well," one said. But know this, the path ahead is dangerous. Your choices will not only affect your world, but countless others. You have the chance to repay the guidance your ancestors received, not with gifts or gold, but with courage, wisdom, and action. The Viraxis will not show mercy, but together we can stand against them. That night Elias walked alone through the ruins, the glowing inscriptions casting gentle light on the stone paths. He thought about humanity's history, their struggles, their mistakes, and their triumphs. Somewhere long ago, the Seraphim had seen potential in his species, and now that potential was being tested, not with words but with trials, with action, and with the responsibility to face a galactic threat. He looked up at the twin moons rising over the alien horizon. "We won't fail," he whispered to the stars. "Humanity has always found a way. We will show them who we are. We will prove that our courage, our heart, and our unity can rewrite destiny itself." As the humans prepared for the next stage of their journey, a soft hum resonated through the ruins. It was both a warning and an encouragement. The trials were ending, but the real challenges had only just begun. Humanity had passed the tests of skill, courage, and wisdom, but soon they would face the ultimate test, a war that could determine the fate of the galaxy. And in that moment, Elias understood something profound. The Seraphim had not only given humanity guidance, they had given them a chance to become something greater. A chance to stand as equals among the stars. A chance to repay the favor of ancient guardians not with words, but with action that could change the course of history forever. With the horizon glowing faintly, the humans felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were ready to face the Viraxis. They were ready to fight, and they were ready to show the universe what humanity could truly achieve. The dark vacuum of space stretched endlessly, broken only by the distant glow of stars and the shimmering presence of the Seraphim fleet. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the human Seraphim command ship, watching the preparations for the battle ahead. The Viraxis were close now, faster and more ruthless than intelligence had predicted. Every second counted. "Status report," Elias commanded, his voice calm but firm. Lieutenant Marcus Chen, younger but exceptionally skilled, spoke quickly. "Shields are fully operational, Captain. The human and Seraphim fleets are in position. Forward scouts report the Viraxis fleet entering the sector. Estimated 35 capital ships, hundreds of cruisers, and thousands of smaller fighters." Elias nodded. 35 capital ships alone could destroy entire planets. But he had faith. Humanity had trained, learned, and adapted. They were ready to show that they were more than just survivors. They were fighters, leaders, and innovators. "Elias," Lena Rao said, approaching the bridge console, "our hybrid energy shields are holding steady, but the Viraxis tactics are unpredictable. We'll need creative strategies to counter them. Human ingenuity could make the difference here." Elias smiled faintly. "Then let's make sure we use it." The first wave of Viraxis ships appeared on the sensors, black silhouettes against the starry void, moving with precise coordination. The Viraxis were relentless, firing energy beams that carved through empty space with deadly accuracy. "Brace for impact," the Seraphim commander said, their glowing form radiating calm authority. "Remember your training. Trust your instincts and trust each other." The battle began with a roar of energy and light. Human ships, smaller but highly agile, darted between the massive Viraxis cruisers, striking weak points that only quick thinking could identify. Seraphim ships used their advanced technology to shield allies and manipulate energy flows, creating opportunities for human pilots to attack. Elias led a squadron into the heart of the enemy formation. "Stay sharp," he shouted. "Focus on patterns, anticipate moves, and don't panic." A Viraxis cruiser unleashed a pulse that disrupted the fleet's sensors. For a moment, chaos erupted. Ships collided, alarms blared, and human pilots struggled to regain control. But Elias remained calm. Using human intuition and experience, he directed the squadron through the chaos, avoiding attacks and hitting weak points that even the Viraxis hadn't anticipated. "This is incredible," Marcus shouted over comms. "They're patterns. They're repeating, but slightly different each time. We can exploit it." Elias nodded. "Exactly. Use their predictability against them. Humans see possibilities others overlook." Meanwhile, Lena and the Seraphim engineers worked tirelessly, rerouting energy through the hybrid shields to protect the fleet. Energy arcs danced across the ship's hulls, bending light and deflecting enemy fire. It was a dance of science, strategy, and courage. "Captain, the Veraxis command ship is moving ahead of the main fleet," Lena reported. "It's likely coordinating the attacks. If we can disrupt it, the rest of their fleet may falter." Elias's eyes narrowed. "Then that's our target. Assemble a strike team. We're going in." The team prepared for a high-risk maneuver, infiltrating the Veraxis command ship. Human pilots and Seraphim guides worked in tandem, weaving through enemy fire and energy nets. Every move required precision, courage, and quick thinking. One wrong step, and the mission would fail. As they approached the command ship, Veraxis defenses reacted immediately, unleashing a barrage of energy that tore through space like jagged lightning. Elias piloted his ship with calm determination, guiding his squadron through the storm. Marcus performed daring maneuvers, narrowly avoiding destruction. Lena hacked into the ship's energy fields, creating temporary openings for the team to pass. Finally, they reached the command ship's core. Using a combination of human improvisation and Seraphim technology, the team disabled the main control systems. The Veraxis fleet faltered, their coordination breaking apart. Ships collided, smaller vessels panicked, and energy beams went off course. "Status?" Elias asked, his hands steady on the controls. "We did it," Marcus said, eyes wide with relief and excitement. "The command ship is offline. The fleet, it's in chaos." Elias allowed himself a small smile. "Good. Now let's finish this." With the command ship disabled, human and Seraphim forces pressed their advantage. Pilots moved with speed and precision, exploiting gaps in the Veraxis lines. Energy shields deflected attacks while counterstrikes disabled enemy vessels. Humanity's ingenuity shone in every maneuver. Human tactics combined with Seraphim technology created unexpected outcomes that the Veraxis could not anticipate. On the bridge, Elias felt a surge of pride. His crew, once explorers and trainees, were now warriors, leaders, and heroes. They were no longer the species the Seraphim had guided quietly. They were equals in the fight, capable of changing the tide of battle. But the battle was not without sacrifice. Several human ships were lost, their pilots risking everything to protect allies. One of Elias's closest friends, Lieutenant Sarah Kim, piloted a damaged vessel to shield a squadron of smaller fighters, giving them the chance to regroup. The moment was brief, but her courage inspired the fleet. "She saved them," Elias said quietly, eyes fixed on the holographic display. "That's humanity, brave, selfless, and willing to act when others hesitate." The Veraxis fleet, though weakened and disorganized, regrouped for a final assault. Their energy beams grew more intense, their attacks more desperate. It seemed as though victory would remain just out of reach. Elias knew that this was the moment that would define the outcome. "We have to think differently," he said to his team. "Use every advantage. Look for openings, improvise, and trust each other. The Veraxis don't expect human creativity. That's our weapon." With coordinated precision, human and Seraphim forces executed a daring maneuver. Human ships lured enemy fighters into traps while Seraphim energy fields created corridors for counterattacks. Energy pulses redirected, shields combined, and enemy ships were systematically disabled. The tide of battle turned. Finally, the remaining Veraxis forces retreated, their fleet scattered and broken. The battlefield, once chaotic and deadly, fell silent. The stars shimmered over the remnants of the conflict, reflecting the courage and ingenuity of those who had fought. Elias allowed himself a breath he had not realized he was holding. "We did it," he said softly. "We really did it." The Seraphim approached, their glowing forms brighter than ever. "You have exceeded our expectations," one said. "You have shown courage, creativity, and moral strength. You are not just survivors, you are heroes, capable of shaping the galaxy itself." Lena smiled, tears in her eyes. We really proved ourselves." "Yes," Elias agreed. "But this is just the beginning. The Veraxis may return. Other threats will emerge. But now humanity has shown that we are more than capable. We are partners, not followers. We are equals," the Seraphim nodded. "And that is why we chose to reveal ourselves. We have watched your species for millennia, guiding you in small ways. Now we see the truth of your spirit. You have repaid the favor not with gold or technology, but with courage, wisdom, and unity. That repayment has rewritten destiny itself." Elias looked out at the stars once more. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and endless possibilities. Humanity had faced its first true test among the stars, and survived. They had proven that courage, ingenuity, and moral strength could overcome even the greatest odds. "This is our future," Elias said quietly to himself. "The stars are ours to explore, protect, and shape. We will face whatever comes next together." The fleet regrouped, repairs began, and survivors were honored. Humans and Seraphim alike understood the importance of what they had accomplished. They had not only defeated an enemy, but they had also shown that humans were capable of rising to meet challenges that no one else could face. As the sun rose over the alien horizon, the glowing ruins reflected the light of victory and hope. Humanity had not just survived, they had grown stronger, wiser, and more respected. The repayment to the Seraphim had been more than a gesture. It had been a demonstration of heart, courage, and the unbreakable spirit of a species ready to take its place among the stars. And somewhere, in the silent reaches of the galaxy, the Viraxis would think twice before ever underestimating humans again. Elias knew the path ahead was still uncertain. Battles would come, decisions would be hard, and sacrifices would be made. But humanity had learned its greatest lesson: that courage, ingenuity, and unity were weapons more powerful than any fleet or weapon system. For the first time, humanity was no longer just a species in the universe. They were a force capable of changing destiny itself. The aftermath of the battle left the stars quiet, as if the universe itself paused to watch the results. Captain Elias Ward and his crew stood on the bridge of the human Seraphim command ship, surveying the scattered remnants of the Viraxis fleet. Humanity had faced its first galactic threat and survived, but victory was not the end. Elias knew that the galaxy had many more challenges, and humanity's true test was only beginning. The repayment to the Seraphim was not complete simply by fighting. It required understanding, growth, and the wisdom to guide others. Lena Rao approached Elias, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the control panels. "Captain, the Seraphim have asked us to participate in a council," she said. "They want humans to join in shaping interstellar decisions." "This is unprecedented." Elias raised an eyebrow. "Humans shaping galactic policy? After all we've been through." "It feels surreal," Lena smiled. "It is surreal, but it's proof that we've earned their trust. They have seen our courage, ingenuity, and unity. Now they want humanity to take a seat among the stars, not as a follower, but as an equal." The crew gathered as the Seraphim projected a massive holographic map of the galaxy. Star systems, civilizations, trade routes, and threats were highlighted in complex patterns. "You have faced the Viraxis and learned from them," one Seraphim said. "But the galaxy is vast, with many species, cultures, and dangers. Your insight, creativity, and courage are valuable not only to your world, but to countless others. Your repayment is complete when you share these qualities with the universe." Elias felt the weight of responsibility settle over him. For centuries, humanity had grown quietly, learning from history, adapting, surviving. Now they had been given allies, technology, and a voice in the wider galaxy. But with that gift came a duty to act wisely and bravely. "Then we will not waste it," Elias said firmly. "Humanity will stand for life, for justice, and for hope. We will use what we have learned to protect, to guide, and to create a better future for all." The Seraphim nodded, their forms glowing with approval. "That is why we have watched you. That is why we revealed ourselves. You are not just survivors, you are partners capable of shaping destiny. The repayment is not a gift to us, but a gift to yourselves and to the galaxy." In the days that followed, humanity worked closely with the Seraphim. They repaired and enhanced the hybrid fleets, shared tactics, and began establishing alliances with nearby civilizations that had once feared contact with humans. Humanity's creativity, adaptability, and moral strength became legendary among the stars. Elias and his crew traveled from system to system, resolving conflicts, offering guidance, and sometimes simply observing, ensuring that the lessons of courage and unity were remembered. They found that even small actions, rescuing a colony from a natural disaster, mediating a dispute, or sharing knowledge, could ripple across the galaxy, saving lives and earning trust. During one such mission, Lena pointed to a planet under threat from a violent storm. "Captain, if we apply the Seraphim energy shields creatively, we can stabilize the atmosphere long enough for the inhabitants to evacuate." Elias smiled. "Then let's do it. Humanity has always found a way. This is just another chance to show it." The operation was a success. The inhabitants were saved, and the energy shield system became a model for other worlds. Word spread quickly across the galaxy. Humans were not just fighters, they were problem solvers, protectors and innovators. One evening, after a long day of diplomacy and coordination, Elias stood on the observation deck staring at the stars. He thought about Earth, fragile yet resilient, and about the Seraphim who had guided humanity from the shadows. And he thought about the Viraxis, defeated but not entirely gone, a reminder that vigilance was always necessary. Lena joined him, leaning on the railing. "It's strange, isn't it?" she said. "We fought in a battle we barely imagined, and now we're shaping alliances, helping civilizations. It's like we've rewritten our own destiny." Elias nodded. "Yes, the Seraphim gave us guidance, but it was humanity that rose to the challenge. They showed us the path, but we chose to walk it with courage and wisdom. That's why the repayment matters. It's not about thanks, it's about action, about proving that we can live up to the trust placed in us." As they spoke, the Seraphim appeared, their glowing forms reflecting softly in the observation deck's panels. "You understand," one said. "The galaxy does not reward power alone, nor technology, nor fleets. It rewards heart, courage, and the ability to act when others hesitate. Humanity has shown all of these. The repayment is complete, but your journey is ongoing. Continue to grow, continue to inspire, and destiny will remain in your hands." Elias felt a surge of pride, not just for himself, but for his crew, for humanity, and for the countless people whose efforts and sacrifices had led to this moment. "We will not forget," he said, "and we will continue to prove that humans can rise to any challenge, protect life, and shape a better future." The Seraphim nodded, their forms shimmering brighter. "Then destiny has been rewritten, not by force but by the courage and wisdom of your species. You are no longer hidden, no longer guided only from afar. You are a beacon, a living example of what is possible when courage, ingenuity, and heart come together." The words resonated deeply. Elias realized that humanity's journey was no longer about survival. It was about influence, leadership, and the capacity to inspire others. Humanity had once been guided silently, subtly by invisible allies. Now humans were the ones guiding, protecting, and leading, not through domination but through courage, creativity, and moral strength. The next months were a time of growth. Humans and Seraphim traveled together, establishing networks of defense, trade, and knowledge sharing. Humans applied their unique problem-solving skills to challenges no one else could solve. They rescued colonies from disasters, negotiated peace between species, and developed technologies that allowed worlds to flourish where they once would have suffered. Everywhere they went, the story of humanity's courage and ingenuity spread. Civilizations that had once doubted humans now respected them. The repayment to the Seraphim was no longer a simple act of gratitude. It was humanity proving its worth, rewriting its own destiny and leaving a lasting impact on the galaxy. One night, Elias and Lena looked back at Earth from orbit. The planet glowed like a jewel among the stars. "We've come a long way," Lena said softly. "And it all started with their guidance, the Seraphim. But now it's our turn." Elias nodded. "Yes, humanity has always survived, always grown, always reached further than expected. And now we've proven that we can rise to challenges no one else could face. We are not just humans anymore. We are guardians, innovators, and partners among the stars." The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of unknown dangers and incredible possibilities. The Viraxis may return, other threats may arise, but Elias knew one thing with certainty. Humanity had the courage, ingenuity, and heart to face whatever came next. And in the quiet hum of the Seraphim ships, in the soft glow of alien worlds, and in the hearts of every human who had stood bravely against the void, one truth remained clear. Help had once guided humanity, but now humanity had the power to guide, protect, and inspire. The repayment had been made, not in words, not in treasure, but in courage, wisdom, and action. And in doing so, destiny itself had been rewritten, humanity had risen, and the stars would never be the same again.